Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another study stream. Something a bit different today. What we're going to do is go through all the hands that I VPIP'd in this tournament, which is the Big 27. Just gonna see how I played and what mistakes I made and what I might have done differently next time, or what I'll do differently next time. So yeah, I like to do some reviews like this, like whole hand history reviews every now and again, just to see if I'm making some mistakes that I don't even realize. When we've got lots of time to think about it, you can find things that you're doing wrong. So yeah, let's just go into it and see what happens. So overcall here. It's a very small raise. Okay. So we just check here. So just rewind. When this guy checks back on the flop, I think it's very unlikely he has anything too strong. I think he's playing in position against us two, and this is a board where he has a lot of really strong hands, and we just don't. We don't have aces, we don't have kings, we don't have ace king. We could both have some two pairs, and we could have a set of sevens, I guess, and a set of fives, and we could have as I said, two pair. But on the flop, ignore the ace five, 7-5, king five for a minute. On the flop, it's unusual to see him check. So I think maybe he does a little bit more checking because it's multi-way. But I think on the whole, he's probably just going to have some under pairs or something here. I don't think he opens threes and fours, so this seems like a pretty good candidate to start bluffing. Flush draw and a gut shot. So I'm actually going to mark this for review to run in simple three-way. Yeah, I think we just unblock folds and we can improve. And obviously we have four highs, so we can definitely get better hands to fold. So yeah, I don't really like the check here. And then I give up as well on the river. I mean, we never win. That's not necessarily a good reason to want to bet. But yeah, I think we should have bluffed at some point in this hand. And interestingly, he does end up with threes. That's really funny because I thought that he would, he's more likely to have fives and sixes plus than twos, threes, and fours. But anyway, let's move on to the next one. Very similar spot. I think we just have an easy fold here. So yep. I'm just going to sort my keyboard out so I can cycle through these hands a bit easier. 1 second. Jack Rag on Twitch says evening all, and Benjamin is then there as well with the future man emoji. So I hope you guys are doing well. We started a little bit earlier today because it's New Year's Eve, and I need to go and collect a pizza between 6:30 and 7, so we can't stream between that. So yeah, that's why we started early, and still want to commit to doing an hour. So let's continue on through. We're going to limp here, Jack 6, and I think it's fine to just fold here. Interestingly, next month in Game Changer, we're going to be looking at blind versus blind pre-flop. So we'll be looking at what kind of hands to limp, and how we respond to a raise like this. So yeah, I think this is fine. Pocket fives, yeah, I think we can call. Not a great board for our hand. I think it's really unlikely that we are going to have the best hand by at showdown, given that if we don't put any money in, there's lots of different turn cards that can improve both players' ranges. So we could potentially start bluffing, I guess, but yeah, honestly, not. It's not something that makes me go, okay, yeah, definitely, this is definitely a bluff. Now we just have an easy fold. So yeah, I might just mark that one for review as well, because maybe it is just a spot where we get to bet. But given that we're the original raiser checked and he's out of position to us, I think that he might just be could easily check some strong hands, and if we just stab here, what are we really trying to get to fold? We can't get king queen to fold, or a 10. Even sevens might continue here if we just stab small. So we just try to get sixes to fold and just random ace x hands to fold, I guess, because I don't think ace queen doesn't fold. So and any pair on the board doesn't fold. So yeah, it doesn't strike me as a particularly good one to go for. But yeah, I'll have a look at it. Defending, king 5 again, easy fold. Let's have a look at stack sizes here. So 50 bigs deep, looks fine to limp. We face a 4x. This is interesting. Going to open up the pre-flop solutions just to have a look at this. I know that the 50 bigs, the pre-flop, the raised, the ISO there is going to be about 3.5 rather than 4. But we can have a look at see what the solution looks like. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see this. This is the calling solution. So when it folds to us, and you can see 8-7 off calling quite a lot, 69%, and then raising the rest. And never folding, so we definitely want to VPip this hand, so that looks good, but limp more often than raise. And then our opponent raises, and you can see 8-7 off calls 88% of the time, and 3 bets 2%, and I guess folds the rest. It folds 10%, and if you guys can see this might not be that useful. So we've got the calling range on the left and the folding range on the right. So yeah, I think this is versus a 3.5x. So I think versus a 4x, I think getting rid of the bottom hands in this range seems absolutely fine. And I don't think that population are ISOing wide enough, and this is something we're going to be talking about next month in Game Changer. So we'll look at the pre-flop solutions, what it's supposed to look like, but then what do you do if someone's not ISOing super wide? So if I'll just show you this range. Generally, like big blind should ISO like 40 to 45% of hands, and as you get shallower, that might include some jams, but it's usually a 40 to 45% raising range of some kind. Let me just close this and show you what it looks like in this spot. So in 50 bigs, raising 44%. Like I would say population. Some players are opening these weaker hands down here, but most are just opening the most the obvious opens, which you can see at the top of this range. So we want to take it like, if we take out all of these bluffs, for example, what does that mean for our strategy? And it's going to affect our our decision. Not just when we limp and then they raise. We obviously need to fold more, but also the decision not to raise some hands as well. So yeah, I don't want to spoil it any more than that. But it's going to be an exciting month in Game Changer. So yeah, I think it's fine to fold here, is what I'm getting at. Okay, opening 10-9 suited, 4 ways to the flop. Think check looks good. The only reason to bet would be to get overcards to fold. Now, nobody can call with overcards to the board, like to the 9, I mean. So like king, queen, queen, jack, queen 10, king, jack, king 10. Those kind of hands all just have to fold. But I don't know how many offsuit combos anyone's got really. Maybe the big blind has quite a few, but then these two players are more likely to have the suited combos rather than offsuit. And especially the guy on the button, I don't think he overcalls with like king 10 off, something like that. So we're, yeah, I think we could, yeah, I can see a bet here. We can't run this in simple 3-way because it's 4 ways. We could do it in Munker, I suppose, but I'm not sure how long it's gonna take. Benjamin on Twitch saying, I'm excited for the blind versus blind spots. They come up so often. Good stuff. Sam on Twitch. Hey up, guys. Good to see you on the streaming scene on New Year's Eve. Love to see it. All the best, buddy, and plenty of action in the new year. Let's go. Hashtag MTT Poker School. Cheers, Sam. Thanks for that. And Happy New Year to you as well. Hope, well, whatever you're doing, obviously it's 5:45 now, so still a little bit of time before midnight. We were chatting today about potentially not even staying up till midnight. That might just be a sign of old age. I'm not sure, but yeah, we'll see. Okay, so we checked, and we continue to check, and now versus the fairly big raise. I guess the problem here is that he can be doing this with some draws, which are going to have reasonable equity against us. So even a hand like King Queen of Diamonds, and if he he could improve to a pair or he can improve to a flush on the river. And we don't have a hand really that we can like call now and then call again on the river. We are going to have some ace-x that play like this. We're going to have some flush draws. I think I'd sooner have a flush draw here than a 9. Yeah, I think this is probably just a fold, and yeah, potentially maybe we get to check call with like kings and queens, like because he could potentially stab with 10s and jacks, but I think jacks probably squeezes pre as well from the button. Yeah, anyway, so it's not looking like a great spot, I don't think. Okay, here we want to squeeze, and I think we just jam actually, ace king and ace queen off. I think they're going to work out better as jams. Is Paulie saying on YouTube, we can't run this in simple 3-way because it's 4-way. No wiser words have been spoken. Exactly. Okay, 5-4 suited on the button. 40 bigs effective. Raise looks good. Okay, so ace queen 3 board. I wonder if I can. I wonder if I've got something similar like to this run in Pio. 1 second. So 40 bigs button versus small blind. Ace queen 3. I think we've got ace queen 6 in here. Okay, so this was I ran these sims, I don't know, two years ago maybe, and it's got way too many bet sizes on it, but we'll see what we can get from it. Just pull this in so you guys can see it. Okay, so 5-4 suited, you can see that I suppose like it's not the perfect solution because ace queen 6 is the closest we've got, but then ace queen 3, you know, 5-4 we have a gut shot. So yeah, it's not ideal. I guess we can get like an overall idea that we're supposed to do a decent amount of checking here, and but yeah, I think 5-4 is probably going to be a good spot to bet. So I did. He calls. Okay. So we don't get an ace to fold on the turn. Queen X, we could maybe get like queen 9, queen 8 to fold. Let's just pull the sim back in, see what kind of queen X actually continues, so we can. We went for the bigger sizing. Yeah, all the queen X is going to continue. So we could certainly get like weaker queens to fold. You can see he doesn't really have the queen 10s in. Sorry, queen 10 suited in there. There is like pair plus draw. So I know, guys, that this is not going to be perfect for what we want, but yeah. So you can still have like the queen 10, maybe like a jack 10 and stuff like that. So I'm not sure that we necessarily want to fire again here. You can see there's quite a lot of checking. We've got, you know, we go for value with our ace-x. We've got some 2-pair in here as well. I wonder what our most common bluffs are in this spot. Okay, so I mean, these look like really poor hands that just block the nuts. Blocks king 10, I guess. I think that's what. Yeah, I think that's what's going on here. Okay, 5-4 does bet, but again, it's a different board, so it's not really ideal. I wonder if we can find a slightly similar board. I know that we don't have rainbow boards for this spot. It's a shame, really. It's a real shame. Okay, this is somewhat similar. Ace 10 3. At least now we have a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw. So yeah, it looks like it looks like it's small bet actually is the way forward here, and we went huge bet. So yeah, not 100% convinced that my line is the best here for sure. But at least we're going to get somewhat closer to this solution now. Jack of spades, check. And you can see we just go for a check back now. Again, even more checking on this particular board. We've got some obvious bets, like strong ace-x hands, 2 pairs, sets not blocking their continues, like jacks and aces. Okay, cool. So yeah, Let's go back here. I did go for the check. Oh, that's a fortunate river card. Sizing wise then, so I mean, I guess we just go for value. Like, I mean, obviously we're going for value, but like we go for, I think just going for a big size. You know, if he has king 10, he has king 10. Like, he's, you know, played it well, and it's gonna win a lot of chips from me here. Yeah, so I think just go big bet, try and get a crying call from like some queen X, maybe some two pair plays like this. Not sure. Maybe some ace X as well. Wow, I just went for it all. Wow, that's yeah. I don't think we get any jams in this spot. Certainly not with a hand that isn't the nuts. I think, you know, potentially we could do some jamming with a 10. King 10. But I think, yeah, I just don't think that we, yeah, I think we just need to make a normal value size. I think the problem is he's just going to fold a ton now. He's just going to call with like straights, and it's really tough for him to have a hand for him to be able to call, right? Yeah, so it's like, you know, he doesn't really even have like ace queen, ace jack. He could have ace 3, I suppose, but that might have check raise flop. He can have queen jack for sure. We lose obviously to king 10, and yeah, I guess he could have a set sometimes, or ace deuce, something like that. But I think, you know, it's such a narrow part of his range. I think if we go for a slightly smaller bet, you know, like 2/3 to pot, somewhere in that region, then I think that we just get we get more calls from worse. So yeah, I don't really like the sizing there. It doesn't make too much sense. Okay, multi-way spot. This strikes me as a fantastic spot to c-bet. So the number of like multi-way spots that I've run compared to like heads up spots is like, you know, multi-ways down here and heads up is right here, right? But you know, whenever we run sims, whether it's heads up, multi-way, ICM sims, whatever, pre-flop sims, post-flop sims, we're always looking for the biggest takeaways, because, you know, you're never going to be able to play exactly like it, and you know, exactly like the sim, and you know, true GTO doesn't exist, because you would need to have like all bet sizes and all raise sizes and every action possible, and that's just not going to be possible in with most computers. So, you know, the biggest takeaway that I have from multi-way spots is that if you have like 3 to a straight, and you're connected to the top card, and you have a backdoor flush draw, then you can you can bet here. So that's you know, it's like not exactly rocket science, but you know, seems good that our cards are connected with the top card. Plus we can get, you know, like ace queen to fold, potentially ace jack, king queen, king jack, king X, king 9, king 8, you know, queen X as well. And blocking the backdoor flush draw is pretty important. Like, we block top pair as well, but we also block like queen jack of hearts, king jack of hearts, king 9 of hearts, queen 9 of hearts, ace 9 of hearts, ace jack in hearts, like, you know, all of those. So we just yeah, I think this is a good bet, and they're both fold. Sam on Twitch said, can we implement a check raise here with a small sizing? In that last hand we were in position. I think that's what you were asking, so we couldn't check raise there. Mr. Mar says, you want to get call from one pair combo under pot is optimal. Yeah, I like that in the last hand. Cool. In terms of sizing, maybe big bet is too big. Like, certainly, like if we bet small here, in position is supposed to continue with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw. So like he's going to continue with like king queen of diamonds, king queen of clubs, queen jack of clubs, queen jack of diamonds, like those kind of hands. I think if we bet, the bigger we bet, the more those hands are going to potentially fold. I think it's like the big bet gets more of like the ace X with a backdoor flush draw to fold, right? So ace 6 of clubs, ace 7 of diamonds, all of those hands would have to start folding. But versus a small bet, maybe they get to continue. So yeah, I think we generate more folds. Plus we block some hands that that might continue here, like Queen Jack of Hearts, King Jack of Hearts, Ace Jack of Hearts, stuff like that. Okay, let's look at stack sizes here then. Min raise looks good. Have to fold to the small blind though, and that's what we do. But I still think it's fine. Okay, and so King and 9 are connected, 9 and 7 is connected. I think we just want to bet small here. I'm just thinking though, because maybe basically if we bet on this board and we get called, then our equity drops with this particular hand. So do we then turn it into a bluff, for example? But if we check, like, he still has all the like random queen 3 of clubs or Jack 6 of spades, right? Not Jack 6 of spades, Jack 6 of clubs, because we got the 6 of spades. So yeah, I feel like we could potentially just check back as well. I did go for the big bet. Yeah, not sure about this. I'm gonna mark it for review. So I know that we do want to have some bigger sizes when the King and 9 are connected. There's so many like Queen Jack, Queen 10, 10 9 stuff. 9 and 7 are connected, so there's even more like 8 6, 8 5, 10 8, Jack 10 we've already said, stuff like that. So I think the big sizing is reasonable because of that, but I'm just not sure with this with our exact hands. So yeah, I've marked it for review. We'll again, like, maybe I can find a similar sim that we've run before. 1 2 3 4, low jack versus big blind. Again, we don't really have like the same board, which is a shame. Yeah, I don't have anything similar to this, which is a shame. But I'll come back and hopefully I will be able to run these sims next week in the next study stream. Louis on YouTube says, loving the stream. Thank you. You mentioned before about flop type, and in other videos you've mentioned about being able to break flops down into 13 types. Do you have an article somewhere that lists these? I don't have an article, but that is a great idea for an article, and maybe a YouTube video or IGTV video, whatever. So yeah, I mean, you can, if you joined MTT Game Changer, I mean, this isn't a plug, but kind of is as well. If you joined MTT Game Changer, you would get access to that, and you would, it's in many of the webinars, or many of the modules. So yeah, you could do that. Yeah, as we go through, I'll try and to like highlight like how I would categorize these flops to see if it's, see if that helps out at all. Okay, so we overcall here with 4-3 off. This guy should just not have really any hands for flatting here. Okay. I just call, and then we have to fold. I mean, what's going on here? Our draw's pretty weak, isn't it? Like, we have, we could have, yeah, I mean, we have 8 outs, but 2 of them are diamonds, so maybe just 6 outs. We don't close the action. We're, drawing to the bottom end. I'm just thinking, like, if a 7 comes off, is he ever bluffing with like 9-8? Does he ever have 9-8? Yeah, I just don't think this is actually a good spot for us to call. I actually think raising might be better. Just trying to think of strong hands that we could have, and we just have like all the 2 pair here. We'd probably squeeze with king queen, but we're going to have king 5, king 6, queen 6, queen 5, 6 5. We never have a set, obviously, but this guy should never have a set or a strong hand. He should be 3-betting king queen pre. He maybe has like king 5, king 6 suited, but yeah, I think we can probably apply a ton of pressure. But let's see what they turned up with. Ooh. Never has a strong hand. What a big shout. What that is a yeah, I think that's really like quite interesting that I've gone straight for the we should never have a big hand. But obviously, like, the one big hand he can have is aces, and then just a selection of like suited stuff that doesn't want to jam. Yeah, okay, well, glad if we didn't raise there then. Okay, we raise with ace 10. We're short now. We can Low board. So he can have like 9-4 suited, 6-4 suited, 9-6 suited, but I don't think he's going to defend 9-6 off, maybe not even 6-4 off, and definitely not 9-4 off. So yeah, I think yeah, and it's not connected enough to where like there's made straights already. So yeah, I think we could actually go small or big here. I don't think it's going to matter too much. We go on the big side, and he folds. Just to go back, I was talking about like flop textures and how you could categorize this. This is like a low unconnected board, in the sense that, thanks Mr. Martha for the follow. Like it is connected in the sense that 9 and 6 are connected, 6 and the 4 are connected. Oftentimes when everything kind of is intermingled, you will find some bigger bet sizes because there's so many draws that your opponent can continue with. But you know, 9, 6, 5 has a possible straight, right, where he's going to flat 8-7 off and 8-7 suited pre. So he's going to have a lot more straights than you are. He's going to have a lot more nutted hands on this board. But here, because I don't think he defends 9-4 off, and it shouldn't defend 9-6 off, maybe defend 6-4 off, has all the suited hands obviously, but then there are no made straights, and he never has a set because he should be jamming that pre. Then I think this board is, you know, still pretty, you know, okay-ish for us. But anyway, yeah, we bet and he folded. Blind versus blind then, this could be interesting. We go for the small raise of 15 bigs. I think this is fine. Queen 10 suited. Ooh, go for the flat. This is interesting. Not sure how I feel about this. Benjamin says, Happy New Year, guys. I'll be back on Sunday. Great stuff. Happy New Year. Have a good one. And I'll see you on Sunday for Live Play and Explain. This is... I mean... I don't think flooding can be too bad. The problem is flooding and then either of these two jams would probably have to just call off against the small blind, but really not loving it, and then the big blind just fold. But yeah, I don't think anything is going to be making that much money, so it's probably pretty close between folding, calling, and jamming. So yeah. Okay, go for the check. Wow, okay. Go for the check back. Seems okay. I mean, bet getting it in here would be fine as well. And now we... Yeah, I guess we just call. Bink. Well, that was easy. Here's pocket jack. So, yeah, I mean, you know, very, very fortunate run out. Let's have a look at the whole hand again. Yeah, I think flop is, you know, when the SPR is like less than 2, I think getting it in here with an 8-out straight draw and an overcard and a backdoor flush draw is like, you know, not going to be too bad. Like if we flat pre here, like this is like one of the best boards or better boards that we can hope for. On the turn, yeah, I think we just continue to call. Yeah, I think there's nothing really to talk about in this hand. I think it was fine. It would have been interesting if he, you know, the river bricks and then he checks. Do we go for a bluff? I mean, what kind of strong hands are we going to flat pre? It's literally like aces, and then maybe like a jack 9 suited or an ace 9 suited. That, you know, so we can have some strong hands in this spot. Maybe even flat pocket 3s. Seems a bit dicey though. Okay, pocket queens then. 30 big blinds. Wouldn't hate a flat here given the stacks behind. We did just go for the 3-bet. And ace high board, I guess just bet really small. And he raises. So I think I ended up folding here. Shirava, thanks for the follow. I guess the thing is that he can just he can check raise like ace X and just go with it. He can also do that with some flush draws. I don't think he's going to do that with a set of 8s. I guess he could do it with some 2-pair, but I think smaller raise or just call. But yeah, I think we just fold. I'm going to mark this one for review because I already have. Interesting. Because I just want to make sure that we're not over folding. I don't think we are, but we could potentially be. Ace 10, raise and take. Got 20 bigs again now. Defend queen 6. Flop top pair, 15 bigs effective. I think we just raise, get this in. Well, that's a really small raise, but I like it. That's good. So yeah, just when the SPR is so small, you know, top pair is a very, very powerful, strong hand, and we want to raise it for value and protection. So okay, we're limp 9-7. Ooh. Okay, so I think flop is a call. It looks like, I'm looking at this now and thinking, you know, there must be a reason in game why I chose to fold. But looking at it now, it's only a small bet. We've got a backdoor flush draw. I think it's probably a reasonable continue here. It seems really, really loose and spewy, but I feel like we're probably just going to be massively overfolding if we don't continue here. Like 9-7 off with no heart, like fine, just let it go. I wonder if I mark this one for review. No, we'll review this one as well, because I think it's. Let's just see what the solver says, because I think it's, you know, we probably need to continue here. I mean, 10-8 we obviously would do because we have a draw, but yeah, we'll come back to that one. Okay, multi-way. Again, if we had like, I don't know, Queen Jack of clubs or Jack 9 of hearts, something like that, we just benefit from getting more hands that are better than ours to fold. Slightly awkward that the big blind has, like, what is it, like just under 2x pot, 1.5x pot. Let's go with the check, and I mean, I don't think the button is ever bet folding versus the big blind, so it makes me feel like his range is somewhat stronger. So I think folding is fine, but I'm not sure we get to fold like ace jack of hearts, ace queen of hearts, ace king of hearts. So this might be a bit closer than we think. Jacks, I think, is just a jam. He folds. Jacks again, let's look at stack sizes. Okay, let's have a straightforward jam again. King 10. Looking at the stacks, I think an open's fine here. I'd probably fold it one seat over. But yeah, I think it's fine here. 5-4-4 board. He's going to have he's going to have a lot more 4x than we are. He defends all the suited 4x. When I say things like he's going to have way more 4x than us, he's going to have more 4x in general, but I think he's going to have more 4x as a proportion of his range as well. So it's not just a case of like he's got way more 4x than us. I hear that quite a lot. Or we should do this because he has way more 4x than us. He does, but it's the important thing is that it's about the proportion of the range, because don't forget he's defending the big blinds. He's got a super wide range anyway. So yeah, I think battle check is absolutely fine here. We don't want to be using anything bigger than like 20%. So I went for a check back. I think it's probably okay. Turn is a 9 of clubs. So this stage we could get some better hands to fold. I feel like King Jack, King Queen, some Ace X might need to start to fold. We have the 10 of diamonds, which blocks some continues, but also gives us an opportunity to bluff the river. So yeah, this could be a potential spot. He goes for the bet, and I just folded. But yeah, if we'd bet turn, then we could have potentially jammed river as a bluff, but we let it go this time. I think we're going to have plenty of other hands to continue here. We're going to have pairs, we're going to have flushes, we might play like this. We're going to have like ace high, which is going to be better than this one, I think. Better than this hand. Siscock Kid 27 says Happy New Year. And to you. Thank you for being here. Raise with ace 10. Similar spot to the one earlier. That was a bit more connected though. 9 and the 6 where it was 9-6-4 flush draw. So I think small bet would be fine here. He calls. Turn is the 5 of clubs. I don't think that's a very good card for us. Like obviously some draws get there. 6-3 gets there. Ace 3 gets there. But also hands like 6-5, 5-3 now improved to a pair and a draw. So I think we probably just check. We also have like reasonable showdown value against flush draws and stuff like that. And I guess we just bet half pot with a straight and go a little bit bigger. Looks like 2/3. Okay, seems fine. It would have been grim to get jammed on, but thankfully that didn't happen. Queen Jack suited. Looks like a good defend. Marcelos on Twitch says, Happy New Year to all. Stay healthy. Thank you for that. Okay, so we flop top pair, 23 bigs effective. He checks back, which is weird. Yeah, maybe it's not so weird. But obviously, the shallower we are, I think the less he wants to bet, because we can check raise, check jam, whatever. We're at that stack depth though, where we're not going to do too much jamming versus a c-bet. We're doing more raising, so I still think he can c-bet a lot. So it does feel kind of weird that he doesn't bet. Turn, I think we just go for check call. That looks good to me. Okay. Please tell me I flattered here. Okay, cool. So earlier on we were saying that the small blind never has a hand here. So like you just want to induce the big blind to do something. Like the big blind's going to go, oh, the small blind never has a hand here. Like it's just going to be like Queen 9 suited, Queen 8 suited, King 6 suited, like those kind of hands. Yeah, so it's quite funny. I've done exactly the same here. But I think it's really, really good. I don't really want to 3-bet. I don't want to jam. I think the hand's too strong, and yeah, I think flat has to be the highest EV line here. Mr. Mar says hand like Queen Jack suited, Jack 10 suited, 10 9 suited, a shove in the GTO solution. That last hand, this one, I don't think so. These hands are really, really nice flats. So I think like if you run this situation in, I don't know, HRC, Hold'em Resources Calculator, or ICMizer, and don't allow flats, because definitely don't allow flats because HRC and ICMizer can't handle that. I don't even think ICMizer can do flats, but HRC will not give you the right answer if you allow flat calls. And then it's going to say, tell you which hands you can profitably jam. And Queen Jack suited is probably going to be in there, like no problem at all. But it doesn't understand that this hand plays really, really well post flop. It has, tremendous equity realization, and we definitely don't want to be jamming it. But the more I talk about it, the more I'm like, well, the reason you've asked, maybe we should just check. But yeah, these suited broadways just very often just play really, really nicely as defends. But having said all of that, let's just make sure. So this is 25 big blinds calling range, and you can see. I don't know why I second guess myself here, but yeah, you can see they're very much calls. Jack 10 suited though, so you did mention that. Jack 10 suited, 10 9 suited, go for the jam. They're going to make more money as a jam, but these are just going to do really well in terms of raw equity, but also equity realization as well. But great question, thank you for that, Mr. Mar. Okay, let's go back to this aces hand. We flatted, flop. Well, I mean, to begin with, this looks like an amazing board, but we're probably not going to get paid. He starts with a bet. I mean, just go for a call. And his call. Just 1.5x spots it. Okay. And has 8-6 of diamonds. Okay, nice hand. Seems bad. Okay, next hand then. We've got some chips now. Ooh. So 20 bigs effective. I mean, he's raising into four short stacks. I think he's going to raise call like at least this guy, maybe even this player as well. But I think this hand's good enough to just go for a jam. I'm quite surprised I called, but yeah, I think jamming is going to be fine. I think V-pipping is probably also fine. The downside to calling here is that all four players can just squeeze jam now, and we can. Well, I mean, probably have to call all of them. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that. I think jamming probably works out better. We check back, and now just folds. Yeah, seems okay, I guess. I don't think we need to spend too much time on it. We raise Queen 10 suited. We get 3-bet. If I fold here, it's going to be as an exploit. Okay, I don't. So yeah, he's got under 30 bigs. Well, roughly 30 bigs, and he 3-bets. And he 3-bets an early position open. We've raised into a 19 big blind stack, 17 bigs, 15 bigs as well. So I don't think that his 3-bet's going to be that light here. And just very often players they just don't find enough light 3-bets. So as an exploit, you could potentially overfold. He's also 3-bet. He's obviously calling the cutoff and the button if they jam. So again, like that, I think that just strengthens his 3-bet. Yeah, so we end up folding. I mean, maybe we get to bluff the turn, bluff the turn. We block 10-9. We can maybe get some ace high and king high hands to fold. Yeah, that could be an interesting line. We'll mark that for review. See if we come back to it. King jack suited. We're gonna flat and go for the call. Check check. And ooh, what an interesting spot. I feel like I've run this hand, but I can't actually remember. Let me see if I can quickly find it for you guys. So it's like 30 bigs. What's the board? Ace 10 3. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's in the recent saves in there, but yeah, I think the river's pretty interesting. I think if we have king jack with a heart, we should potentially bluff. Yeah, I mean this this is going to be a fold for sure. Cooperman, I don't want to call here. But I'm just thinking that if, you know, it's very easy now for him to bet pot with 9s, 8s, 7s, 6s, 5s, whatever he opened, that now he's never going to win. So like sometimes we can bet the river to prevent those kind of from that that from happening. So yeah, we'll mark this for review. We'll come back to this one because I feel like river, we've got to do some betting. We're going to have some more 10x, maybe given the fact that it's the 10 of hearts specifically, after we call a reasonable size bet on the flop, means that we should be doing some leading here with some hands. I mean, we're obviously going to have flushes, we're going to have some 10x, and we're going to have some draws like this one, king jack, king queen, maybe king jack with a heart, king queen with a heart. Those are going to work out better. Queen jack with a heart. So just be interesting to know like how we're supposed to approach this. But yeah, I'm going to fold now. Aces, we go for a limp, 15 bigs, and he jams, and yeah, I think he can ISO. He can actually raise like 2 induce, right, with king jack suited. But he doesn't. He just jams. Okay, so we have ace king now. We're just going to go for a min raise, and he jams, and we call. And he gets ace 4 off. This time queen 4 suited. Ooh, let's just let's pull up the blind versus blind solutions for, what are we at? Roughly 40. Cat Butler saying, hi mate, happy new year. Happy new year. Thank you for being here. We're going to go for probably another like 10 minutes, guys, and then I'm going to wrap things up for 2020. What year? Can you put the volume up a bit? Well, I can do better. I can move the mic a little bit closer to my mouth because I recognize that it was a bit far away. Okay, so this is quite an interesting spot. This is the raising range for this situation, blind versus blind. And this is the limping range. So we can raise sometimes, but mainly limping looks better in this spot. So I think I would have liked to just limp here, but we went for the raise. I don't know if maybe it's close to the bubble. I think normally it's like 800 or 1,000 when it's the bubble. Okay, well, we now made a sizable pot out of position with queen high. Went for the check, and we end up check folding. I mean, I don't think... Okay, so this is definitely one I want to run because I feel like we probably just massively, like, go for the limp pre first. I think folding here, like such a small bet, folding a backdoor straight draw, backdoor flush draw, and an overcard just seems like really, really bad. So I don't like this at all. I think we need to continue here. But, if you've ever like, I don't know, you've used like the GTO app or simple GTO trainer and you've run these blind versus blind spots, you get to a point and you're like, you see how like wide you have to go in these situations. So the key thing now is like, you don't just go like, oh, well, I've, clearly got a call here because I've got queen high and backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw and this, that, and the other. So you actually run it and you see, see the patterns and you see that this probably is a continue. We're certainly going to have better hands to continue here, but this feels a little bit too weak to fold. Open king jack off, and so 6-6-3 boards on these paired boards. Generally we would go for a small bet or a check, and very often if it was like king 3, we would just go small bet, with our entire range. 6-6-3, I think he's going to have a lot more 6x that he defends, and we don't have that much 6x. I think we actually might start to see some bigger betting going on here, on these like low paired that's somewhat connected, especially rainbow boards as well. Because if you think about it, when you bet really small, he should be continuing with lots of backdoor flush draws. So just any like 2 overs in a backdoor flush draw, even like 1 over in a backdoor flush draw. If you had like queen 4 of hearts, queen 4 of spades, queen 4 of diamonds, I think if we min bet here or bet 20%, he should be continuing. So that's on these like low rainbow boards, I think that we actually start to see some bigger betting because of that. It's only like these very few boards where that happens, but so I think big bet or check here would be actually reasonable. But if you just joined the stream then and you heard me say big bet or check on a paired board, you'd be like, what? That doesn't make any sense. But hopefully go back and listen to all of the explanation, because it's really important. Frozen PT, are we going to have blind versus blind webinars in MTT Poker School? So we next month we're going to be doing blind versus blind pre-flop, and then in February we're going to be looking at blind versus blind post-flop. We'll be starting it anyway. There's lots to look at, lots of different things that can happen. So we might not be able to do like every single thing that can happen post-flop, pre-flop that then leads to post-flop, but we'll definitely be touching on it and making a start with that. We will be looking at blind versus blind. That's how we'll be kicking off 2021. If you want more information on Game Changer, go to mttpokerschool.com, or if you're on Twitch, you can just type in command Game Changer for more info. You can get a discount as you're watching on Twitch, but you're going to have to do command Game Changer to find out how you can get that discount. You can get, you can lock in your discount for life if you go through that. So definitely check that out. mttpokerschool.com for more info, and command Game Changer for the info and link and info on how to get discount. It's King Jack here. Let's see what happens. He bets big and I folded. I'm like 100% sure I've run this, because I was talking to someone I study with about this hand. So it just depends where it is. But I'm fairly sure. We'll probably wrap things up with looking at this hand, guys. So what is it? Like cutoff versus big blind, 6-6-3 rainbow. We found it. Okay. So this is interesting. The first thing is there's no big betting. There's a little bit of big betting, so that's completely wrong on my end. Shout out to Polymerics for the follow. I think I missed some other follows. All in 13, Fabio, thanks for the follow. For Bowden Odin, thank you for the follows, guys. Really appreciate it. If you're new to the stream, I will be back on Sunday to do a play and explain. So play my live session from Sunday morning 10 a.m. So definitely, let me just help you out here. It's command Game Changer. So command is the exclamation point, right? I've done that for you on Twitch. I do the play and explain on Sundays. So from 10 a.m. GMT, which is UK time, I'll be playing a live Sunday session. So definitely join me for that if you're around. Lock547, thanks for the follow. And okay, so you can see there's like a trace amount of big betting. So it's not like completely ridiculous. You can see 8, 9, 12% even, 9 of diamonds, 9 of clubs. But it's not it's certainly not big bet or check. And like the generally like paired boards are just going to be small bet. And but you can see like a huge amount of checking here, which I think is really, really interesting. But yeah, it went check, check. And then 7 of hearts on the turn, and he bets pretty big. And yeah, we just have a fold on this. Locke says, is this a final table hand and an ICM sim in Pio? No, this is just Chippy V sim, and this isn't the final table. This is just, let's go back to the hand. We're still, 1 second. Oh, looks like I somehow closed the hands. Let's see if we can pull it back. Let's just cycle through. 1 second, guys. I think it was this one. Okay, yeah. So the blinds are 300, 600, so it's not anywhere close to being a final table. So it's not an ICM sim, and just using Chippy V pre-flop and Chippy V post-flop. So hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, King Jack off is just going to be a fold. So yeah, I was saying that we talked about this. I talked about this with a friend of mine when we studied this spot, and he's like, yeah, you got to call, like you can do something funky with, you got the King of Hearts, blah blah blah. But yeah, you can see that it's just a fold. We're going to have some 7x to continue. We're going to have some gut shots to continue. We're going to have our better ace-x hands to continue. We're going to have aces, kings, queens that we just checked back on the flop. We're going to have some better ace-x hands down here as well to continue. So I'm going to have our pairs and quads and stuff like that. So we've just got plenty of other hands to that we want to continue here. So yeah, I don't think this. Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's a good fold. But yeah, I just want to go back to talk about the flop. So I think it's good that we recognize that there's going to be a decent amount of checking on this particular paired board. So normally on paired boards, as I said, we do lots of small betting, right? And we usually when the top card's paired, it's very, very frequently just you range bet for a small size. But on these boards where it's more low and connected, and the big blind can have a decent number of 6x, and we can just explore that in 1 second. So we have 4.8% of our range is trips and better, so trips, full houses, and quads. And the other position has 10.8%. So like it's a huge difference, right? They got twice as many, as a proportion of their range, they got twice as many really strong hands, trips and better. So we've got to you've got to be aware of that, and that's why it leads us to checking a bit more. Also, like when we go for the small bet, our opponent gets to check raise super aggressively, and you can see it's like 37%. Now, you could argue population not doing that right now, which is definitely reasonable, reasonable argument. But that's the reason why. Like the solver gets to approach this really aggressively because it's got way more 6x and is going to play his 6x really aggressively, as you can see here. And then he gets to like check raise like back any 2 cards with a backdoor straight draw and flush draw, right? So we you can see like Jack 5 of hearts has a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw on these rainbow boards. We just absolutely love it. So we have to be aware of that, but also be aware that not too many players are doing this just yet. For Bowden Odin says, hi, is it only MTTs or do you work with cash game players too? I'm starting MTTs, but mostly cash games. Just MTTs. So clues in the name MTT Poker School, and I wouldn't. We just focus on tournament poker. Mike on YouTube, I found when pair is 5s through 8s, there's a lot of checking versus the big blind, probably due to a lack of raise first in range covering the trip card. Exactly, yeah, you got it. So yeah, we'd like 10-10-3, Jack-Jack 3, Queen-Queen 3, King-King 3, Ace-Ace 3. Like there's just a huge amount of like really small betting. But yeah, on these boards, 6-6-3, 4-4-3. I just want to try and find like a sim where there was some big betting. Might just be my misunderstanding of the spot. But like usually there's like no big betting on paired boards whatsoever. But they're on, maybe it's the deeper stacked as well. It could be. I'm not trying to defend my misunderstanding here, but trying to explain like it could be like more the deeper stacks you expect players to continue with a lot more backdoor draws, but maybe in this situation, like they're going to go for a raise versus a small bet instead of like a call, and therefore that incentivizes us to just go small bet or check. So yeah, not Locke says no big bets even when deep stacked. Yeah, I don't think there will be on paired boards. I think it's just very often, very, very frequently small bet. And sometimes when it was like, let's say it was like Queen 6-6 instead. So again, big blind's going to have a lot of 6x as a proportion of their range. Then we would get to we would do lots of checking there as well. But like Queen 6, we would do lots of betting. So yeah, I don't want you to leave this session thinking that I'm telling you to go ahead and bet big on paired boards, because that's definitely not true, not the case. Definitely don't do that. But there are just a few like anomalies where on these like rainbow boards, and like 4-4-3, I want to say 4-4-3 rainbow, maybe 40 big blinds deep. I've seen a sim where there was a little bit more big betting going on as well. All right, Mike says King 5-5. There's a ton of checking under the gun versus big blind. Very surprising. Maybe not surprising in the sense that big blind's going to have a lot more 5x as a proportion of the range, and but yeah, I mean, just I would say rather than like surprising, just more like eye opening, and that's what we're looking for, right? We're trying to find the patterns. So you could run all the paired boards that are possible. I'm not sure how many there are. I'm going to throw it out. There's 16% of all boards are paired. That's a big shout. Not sure if that's correct. I might have just made that number up. But yeah, I would say it's like quite a lot of boards where they're paired. So if you ran all the paired boards, you would see some pretty big takeaways. And normally, I wonder if I can show you. Let's see. I can just show you a Google sheet really, really quickly on looking at paired boards, and just show you a little bit when what happens on these paired boards and how we can study them sometimes. Okay. Okay, hopefully you guys can see that okay. So what we can do, actually, one second. So this Google Sheet is available to all the members of MTT Game Changer, and what it does is basically sorts flops that I ran the different spots for, so you can see like EP versus big blind. This is all 40 big blinds. EP versus big blind, MP versus big blind, low jack versus big blind, etc., etc. And then it's sorted by equity and board texture, how often we bet, how often we check, and how often we use the two and maybe a jam sizing. But you can see there's like hardly any ever any jamming. So for example, we could go to like hijack versus big blind. You can see I've already got a filter on this. So we can just get rid of mono boards there, and then we can go to board texture, and we can go down to paired boards. And we can see, okay, so when the top card's paired, very common theme, we do a lot of betting. When the big blind doesn't really have too much of this bottom card either, so like 3x and 2x, we still get to do a decent amount of betting. And then all of a sudden, we start to see some checks when, like 7-7, king, 5-5, 6-6, all of these kind of spots. I just want to see like 4-4-3. Yeah, so this is what I was talking about. Like there's a tiny bit of, well, not a tiny bit. There's a lot more big betting here. 6 deuce deuce 7-5-5 might just be some kind of weird way the function of the ranges and the setup and stuff like that. But yeah, there is some big betting. But yeah, you can see that like more often than not, it's a small bet very, very frequently. And if it isn't very frequently, it'll just be small bet and a lot more checking, as you can see down here. So yeah, you can get access to this either through MTT Game Changer if you join that, or you can purchase individual modules. So you can go to classroom.mttpokerschool.com for info on the modules, and you will get access to these Google Sheets as part of that. So you get loads of video content and these Google Sheets as well, to filter and to discover lots of cool stuff about the different textures. All right, so that's going to wrap things up, guys. It's been a great year. I really appreciate all of the support on Twitch. Started streaming back in July, I guess, and we've got all the way up to over 2,700 followers, which is which I think is great. Like, great progress, and just shout out to you guys for being here and to following and stuff like that. And let's see what happens in 2021 as we grow this channel, grow MTT Poker School, grow the YouTube channel, and see what happens. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Happy New Year. Take care, and I'll see you again on Sunday, which is going to be the first stream of 2021. Check out mttpokerschool.com for all of your coaching and training needs. So there's you've got all of the links to the social media, so the Instagram and YouTube and Twitch and Twitter and various other things. And then you've also got information on private coaching, group coaching, interactive webinars, and the modules as well. So definitely check that out. mttpokerschool.com. Shout out to you guys again. See you soon. I'm going to go. Take care. Bye.